Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to our webinar today. We are talking about a featured employer, CommonSpirit in Kansas. My name is Amy Carr. I'm the Vice President of Recruiting here at Worldwide Health Staff Solutions, and we are joined by a very special guest today, Candy Picard. She is the Vice President of Nursing and CNO for CommonSpirit for some of the locations in Kansas. And Candy herself went through the immigration process and has her own story to tell and share with you. So thanks to everybody who's watching us. Please make sure to put any questions that you have about CommonSpirit Kansas. Put them in the comments. We're going to be happy to answer them. We'd also love to know where in the world you are watching from. I already see somebody from Pakistan. Hi there. How exciting. As we learn more about all of the really great reasons to work at CommonSpirit Kansas. Oh, look, there's Philippines, more than one person. How exciting. Also, just a note before we turn it over to Candy to hear more, this opportunity that we're going to talk about today is for nurses that have already passed the NCLEX and are currently working in bedside. So you have to be working as a bedside nurse in the department that you're applying for and have to already have your NCLEX. Oh, look, more Pakistan and Philippines and UK. How exciting. All right. Candy, let me turn it over to you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And we look forward to hearing all of the really fantastic reasons to work at CommonSpirit in Kansas.
Yes. First of all, Amy, my boss, our CEO and president, Twyla Lee, is waiting to be admitted in. So if you could just let her be part of this conversation. Well, mabuhay! Maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Well, I just wanted to let you know I am super excited. I migrated to the United States about 31 years ago, and my journey has been wonderful. The United States is a land of opportunity. And I am excited to share with you that through my interaction with different hospitals, and I have to say, being part of the CommonSpirit is one of the best because I will share later, our mission statement truly resonates with me in regards to how we interact with everyone every day when we come to work. Take it away, Amy. I don't know if Twyla is in. I'd like for her to say hello as well.
Yeah, we have some technical angels on the background working on that, working on finding Twyla and making sure that she's in here. But I think CJ, we can probably go to the next slide.
Yes, next slide. CommonSpirit Health. Let me tell you how exciting it is to be part of CommonSpirit. CommonSpirit is a Catholic organization, and it is comprised of 162 hospitals throughout 24 states. And here in Southwest Kansas, I am the Vice President of Nursing and Chief Nursing Officer over the 3 hospitals. The names of our hospitals are St. Catherine Hospital in Garden City, St. Catherine Hospital in Dodge City, and Bob Wilson Memorial Hospital in Ulysses, Kansas. Next slide. So mission statement, I want to share with you the mission statement truly resonates with my spiritual beliefs. At CommonSpirit, we make the healing presence of God known in our world by improving the health of the people we serve, especially those who are the most vulnerable, while advancing social justice for all. Let me pause real quick. When you hear this mission statement, it is truly manifested in our daily work. In fact, even before we start any meetings, any session, we have prayer and reflection. And that to me is so important because it is not just work, it is a ministry and it is a calling. Next slide. Our core values, of course. Jesus is the center of what we do. So our core values talks about compassion, inclusion, integrity, excellence, and collaboration. Inclusion is a big deal in Southwest Kansas. For those of you who may not know, even though we're in Southwest Kansas, we are very diverse. We serve a community that speaks 34 languages. Yes, Anne, you are correct. It's wow. We may be small. For example, in Garden, there's 34,000 people, Dodge 34,000, and also in Ulysses about 5,000. Truly, we have Asian American, we have African American, we have Middle Eastern. I mean, it is amazing. Next slide. And of course, our vision. We want a healthier future for all. We are not selecting certain groups of people, it's for everybody. We are inspired by faith. And yes, Jade, glory to God. Amazing. Driven by innovation and powered by our humanity. Truly, I'm going to tell you, life can be tough, but knowing what our mission and vision statement is energizes me every morning. It is amazing how we impact the lives of our most vulnerable population. Next slide. Hang on a minute, Amy. I think Twyla said if I can just connect her on my phone because she can't get in.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, there she is. Twyla, do you want to talk about? I just shared with the people here. I don't know how many are
trying
watching.
To see here the beautiful Kansas sunrise.
Yes, go
Andy,
ahead.
shall I go ahead and go forward?
Yes, go ahead and talk about your experience with CommonSpirit, you being our CEO and president. Twyla?
It looks like, isn't that just the life of a CEO and president? She's doing so many things at one time. There she is.
All right. Good morning. Before I lose connection again, just really thrilled to be here at this point in time. Welcome, everyone. Looking at a beautiful Kansas sunrise here. So great to be with all of you. Really excited for the opportunity to share Kansas with all of you. We have great communities. They are friendly and warm. We have a lot of cultural diversity, many ethnicities that are here in Southwest Kansas. And we're really pleased to be a part of this opportunity. And I know Candy Picard, who is our Chief Nursing Officer, brings a lot of experience and exciting ideas to this opportunity to bring additional nurses to Southwest Kansas so that we can take care of people in our communities closer to home. So we're really fortunate to be here and be a part of CommonSpirit Health, which is a wonderful organization. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to say good morning and welcome. And we'll turn it over to whoever I interrupted. And thank you very much.
I just want to share Twyla is my boss, and she has been extremely supportive of nursing. We started together about 2 years ago, and we have seen so much improvement in our 3 hospitals. So I just want you to know that we are looking forward to welcoming you into our communities and also to be part of CommonSpirit. Moving right along, our impact is having a healthier future, and Twyla is right. We want to provide care close to home so that our families do not have to drive 3 to 5 hours to find care. Next slide. And as what we have, I think there's a question there that can we move from one CommonSpirit to another? I'm not sure what the contract says, Amy, but once you are vested, yes, there is, you can move around once you are vested. I believe they need to have at least 3 years with us. Is that correct, Amy?
Yeah, this contract is for 36 months, and it is in like calendar months. So you can't, so it is 3 years time. And I think what CommonSpirit Kansas would like for you to do is to work that 3 years out in the location that sponsors you, because that is who is committed to your sponsorship. And who knows, you may fall in love with Kansas in the meantime and decide that it is the place that you want to stay.
Yes, thank you so much, Amy. And caring for our communities, I already shared that, boy, we have 2,200 care sites, 24 states, over 35,000 providers, and over 45,000 nurses. We are the second largest nonprofit hospital system in the United States and the largest Catholic hospital system in the US. If you were to ask me why choose us because we're truly not just doing this for work. We are truly doing this for ministry and answering the call, our personal mission. Moving right along, next slide. And of course, just like any company, we have a very competitive pay. And as a nurse, what I'm proud to say is we're working towards obtaining a magnet designation or pathway to excellence designation. So our focus is making sure that our RNs have a voice at the table. So it's not just about the money, but it's about being involved in the care and policies and procedures. And we also have career advancement. So it's not just, again, about the pay, but we have tuition reimbursement for those of you who want to advance your degrees from BSN to MSN or to your doctorate level. We have those covered. And also for your mind, body, and spirit, we really have very active staff that are working towards work-life balance so you can take care of yourselves and take care of your family, because we believe that when you love yourself, you're better able to provide the best care to your patients. And in terms of healthcare, of course, we have United Healthcare Insurance. I mean, there are lists and tons of services available for you and your family. Next slide. And as what I have indicated earlier, we truly are. Kansas is the heartland of United States. We are in the middle of the entire United States, right, Amy?
Right in that, like the very, very middle. And for those of you who have never visited the United States, it is really big. So like from one side to the other is like, it's really, really, really far. But when you're in the middle, that means that you can get to vacation in any place that you want to go. It's a really great location to be able to see all kinds of different things in the US.
Yes, that is correct. And the exciting piece in Kansas, like for example, I can go to Texas in 4 hours. I can go to Amarillo, Texas in 4 hours. I can drive to Denver, Colorado in 5 hours. Or I can go to Kansas City near Missouri for 6 hours. Or even I can go watch OKC, Oklahoma City, in 4.5 hours. So we truly are at the center, and driving is easy. I have to say, I came from California. There is no traffic here unless you're going to major cities. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jade. This is about serving people and serving God's ministry. Wow, you guys are so engaged. This is so exciting. And Kansas, as you know, I'm going to be honest, we do have sometimes very cold weather during winter and very minimal snow. I would say once in a while we may have 6 inches of snow, but um, the weather during summer is really hot, and during winter it can be very cold. But of course, there's a saying that says there is no bad weather, only bad outfit.
Well, and I think you get all 4 seasons, right? So in
Yes.
Kansas, you
Yeah.
get to experience all of it without having to like really know how to drive in snow that well. I am from North Carolina, and rarely does it snow here, and so I would not say that I'm a great snow driver. But we also have hills, and in Kansas, like the driving's pretty flat. There's not a lot of traffic. So it's a great place to learn to drive if you don't know how to drive already.
Yes.
And you get to experience all of the different seasons without extremes. I mean, it is warm in the summer, but it's anywhere that has summer, it's generally pretty warm. And if you want a cooler summer, drive 5 hours to Colorado, and then you can, it's a little bit cooler up there.
Yes, excellent, excellent. How are we doing with time, Amy? I want to be respectful because there are so many questions on the chat.
Yeah, I think we're good on time. We're good. But we're probably ready for the next slide to talk about why it's so cost effective to live in Kansas.
Yes. Oops, I think that's a different slide. So, right, do you want to go back to that, or where are we going here?
Yeah, let's do this, and then we can go back to the jobs.
All right. So I have lived here in Garden City, Kansas now for 2 years. And of course, as I'm going to be honest, speaking from experience, as an immigrant, right away, I would have wanted to live in a larger city like San Francisco, right? That's the immediate thing that comes to our mind. Or I want to live in New York, or Chicago, or Los Angeles, California. But hold that thought for a moment. Truly, especially for those of you who are thinking of living in a place to grow your family, look at that housing, food, childcare, and transportation comparison between Kansas and San Francisco area. And for example, in Ford County, Kansas, which I think you guys got took this information and compared with Kansas City, which is 6 hours drive from us, and San Francisco. Look at the housing from $880 in comparison with San Francisco, which is over $3,000. And then again, look at the food expenses from 900 to in comparison to maybe 1500 even in San Francisco. And childcare alone, you can see a huge difference. So you're looking at affordable cost of living in comparison with larger cities. And other comments to that, Amy?
I think maybe the other thing that I would say is, so for these opportunities, if you go live here, The cost of living is half of what it costs to live in San Francisco. There's also some other things that we've already talked about, like benefits and the travel time to work, like traffic. I think we haven't really talked about, maybe we can for just a second, but schools and safety and like all these other really amazing benefits for living in a smaller town in Kansas. But what is not half is the wages. And so if you work as a nurse at one of these hospitals for CommonSpirit in Kansas, these locations that we're talking about today, the wages are not as much as if you lived in San Francisco, but they are not half as much. And so I think what's really important to think about, and I think even if this isn't the right opportunity for you, if this is not your job in the U.S., I think one of the very, very most important things for anybody who is thinking about moving to the U.S. to consider is the cost of living and how much money you're going to have in your pocket, because you have saved and worked and spent a lot of money in this journey. And we're going to ask you, when you're in the immigration process, to save more money because you're going to start over here and there are some expenses. But the more money that you have in your pocket, the faster you will feel financially stable and prosperous, which is really important. The faster you're going to be able to buy a house and, all of those sorts of things, and the money that you want to send home to your families. And so I think this part of cost of living and perhaps moving somewhere that you haven't seen on the TV or like that's not really famous may actually be the better choice for you and your family. Candy, do you want to talk about, just for a second, do you want to talk about where you are, the schools, and maybe safety?
Yes, yes. So exciting. I shared with Amy and CJ today that I am super excited. Our school district here recently hired over 50 Filipino teachers from the Philippines. And they are, most of them, oh my goodness, they are really great teachers. And we find them in the different elementary schools and high schools, and some of them are doctorate prepared. And I'm so excited to share with you. I have a 14-year-old son, and I'm very confident that he will get a very, very good education, because I know the teachers from the Philippines, how they truly embed the principles of education for our students to flourish and prepare them for college. And safety wise, boy, it's safe. I walk frequently. I even walk a couple miles almost every day, just making sure that I take care of myself, and it's really safe. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment. And the community itself, even when you see it, Kansas is flat, by the way, but it's very clean. I mean, there are just very few areas in our community that is not super clean, but at the end of the day, overall, it is very clean and vast. Like, the space is really wide, the roads are wide compared to the major cities. Any questions? Or I guess we're going to do question and answer after the presentation.
Yep, we will. Let's do just one more thing, maybe about Kansas. I'll just say, and in a lot of places in the U.S. and many countries around the world, when you have a house or a flat or an apartment, you only get a little bit of land, if you have land at all. If you're not in a high rise, Kansas is somewhere where you can have a house with land on it, which I think is a dream for a lot of people. And if you are one of those people, this is a good thing to consider. Okay, CJ, can we go back to let's take a peek at the jobs that we're hiring for each of the locations.
So let me.
Yeah, you go, Candy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there are several questions about what positions are we hiring. So right now, my focus is hiring RNs. I know there are some questions if I'm hiring social worker, etc. The focus for today is truly registered nurses that have the experience. So I want to be clear. So in Dodge City, St. Catherine, where we are hiring specialty nurses in the cath lab, the emergency department, medical, surgical, and ICU. For Garden City, St. Catherine Hospital, we are hiring medical surgical nurses, ICU, ED, OB, PEDS, NICU is neonatal ICU, and again, cath lab. For Bob Wilson in Ulysses, we are hiring emergency department. Yes, NICU area. There's a question there if we're hiring NICU nurses. Definitely. That is a top priority for us. Next slide.
Yeah, and a couple
Oh,
of
go
other
ahead.
questions I saw, just a couple of other things I saw coming in. Are we hiring nurse aides? We're not at this time. And is working in renal dialysis considered bedside? We actually have some dialysis positions that are open, and you would want to work in dialysis. And so that is exactly the right job. Oh, look, there's some med surg nurses and ED nurses that are here.
Yes, yes. Any vacancy for a PACU, PACU is a very strong department for us. You may want to look at if you really want to come to Kansas, if you have experience in other departments other than PACU, you could do ICU and cath lab. I mean, we have opportunities. I think the most important thing right now is would like for you to apply, and then we will interview. Our nursing leadership team will be interviewing you to see if it's a right fit, because we want to make sure that when you come here, if we select you, you're not surprised. It has to be a perfect fit for you and a perfect fit for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so I think so there's all these people that are excited. So what do you do? So what if you want to have an interview for CommonSpirit in Kansas? So one, if you haven't applied, Candy just mentioned, please apply now. We would love to get you connected directly with a recruiter. Our recruiters here will be able to talk with you about your specific experience and education and make sure that it is a fit for the interview. And then we are scheduling interviews very soon. Interviews are going to happen in the next 2 weeks. And so if you already have a recruiter at Worldwide and you are interested in this interview, email them right now and tell them that you would like to be on the list for CommonSpirit Kansas. And then I think let's take a little bit of time to go through some of the questions. One question that I saw come in was about what English exams are accepted in Kansas. And so Kansas accepts TOEFL and IELTS. Those are the two that are accepted today in Kansas, which I think is the standard accepted in almost every state. So those are the two that are currently accepted. There was a question about medical technologists, and I'll tell you right now in this moment, we are not currently hiring medical technologists for CommonSpirit, but we believe that we will in the future. So if you are a medical technologist and you are interested, please apply, and we're happy to put you on the waiting list for whenever that opens up for CommonSpirit. Candy, somebody asked, do you have to be Catholic to work at CommonSpirit?
No, you don't have to be Catholic. We accept all types of religion. The thing that is important for you to note, since we are a Catholic organization, you need to be comfortable with prayer and reflection, because that's the core of who we are. In fact, as the vice president of nursing, I'm going to be honest, I'm not Catholic, but I have a Christian faith. So that says to you that we don't select Catholic only. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is understanding and supporting the mission.
Yeah,
That's important. And any faith can do that, right? Anybody can do that. And
yeah.
I think one of the great things about the U.S. is that we are not allowed to discriminate based
Yes.
on religion or ethnicity or lots of other things. So that's just quite frankly not allowed. Lots of questions about English exam. PTE and OET are not accepted in Kansas. It is just the TOEFL and the IELTS that are accepted. And I saw somebody, Riza said that she's applied to Worldwide, but we told you there was no hiring. That was true, but these positions are going to open up. I will say the positions for, and this is always true, but NICU, any NICU positions, PICU positions, PEDS, OR, any of those positions that we have open up ever are very, very, very competitive. Those generally are areas that are staffed pretty well in most places in the US. And there's a lot of domestic nurses that are very interested in those roles. And so those will be very competitive interview slots.
There's a question about EHR, Amy. I want to respond to that. We use Epic, EPIC, as our electronic medical record.
And also, if you're not familiar with Epic or you don't currently chart electronically, there's a lot of really great YouTube videos where you can learn more about Epic. Every Epic is different. It's different per like hospital system and customized. But if you want to start learning more about it, I think that's a great thing to do.
And just to
Um,
share with you how important this is for me, we are actually the first in Mountain Region to hire international nurses. Amy knows that. Our other regions have already hired, but for Mountain Region, which is Utah, Colorado, and Kansas, Kansas is the first to have this opportunity to hire international nurses. And I'm proud to say that being an international nurse myself, I am invested in ensuring that whoever is selected to work with us here in Common Spirit, I am fully invested in helping you succeed, not just to come here, but to fully succeed in your profession. Thank you.
yeah. One other question that came in was about training. I'm like, what kind of training do you get when you join Common Spirit?
So, number one is we have a very structured transition to practice. So, the good news is we currently have one international nurse that we are working on to really create a standardized transition to practice. You will not just be thrown out there on your first day to start working. We will look into achieving a period of time where you have a preceptor teaching you the first 6 to 8 weeks. And if you, depending on your ability, every person is different in terms of adjustment. Depending on your ability to catch up, you and your preceptor and your nurse manager will determine when you are released on your own. We're very careful about it because patient safety and quality is at the center of what we do. Thank you.
And there's another question about how do you schedule an interview? So please, if you haven't already applied to Worldwide, please apply now. And we will get you connected immediately to a recruiter, and they can look at your background and education. And there's a skills checklist we'll have you take, and then we'll make sure that you're a good fit for the interview. And we're absolutely happy to help schedule that. If you already have a recruiter, please send your recruiter a note and tell them that you watched this webinar and that you are interested in holding your spot for CommonSpirit Kansas interviews. We absolutely would love to help you get an interview and answer any questions. There's a couple of questions that came in about visa. This is an EB3 visa opportunity. So EB3 green card opportunity. It is 36 months to 3-year commitment. And you do have to have a visa screen. So you do have to do that. You don't have to have it to interview. There's some English exams and visa screens do have expiration dates. And so we want to be really careful about the right timing in your EB3 process to take those. So you only do it one time. And so it is not required for interview, but it will be required throughout the process. So you will have to take that. I also saw somebody ask about how do you get to take the NCLEX? And I would encourage you to go to the worldwide website and look at the different information on where NCLEX centers are and how to register for the NCLEX. And certainly something that you absolutely want to study for before you sign up to take it. But there's more information on our website about that. And then somebody asked about English exam for visa screen. So in this case, and it really depends on your education. So if you're educated in Canada, then you may not have to take an English exam. If you're educated somewhere else and now live in Canada, then you probably do have to take an English exam. And it's the IELTS or TOEFL for Kansas that you would take. IELTS or TOEFL. That is a hot button question. Everyone worries about the English exam. We also have English coaches here at Worldwide to help support you through the process. So don't let that make a major life decision for you. You can do it. You can pass the TOEFL or the IELTS, your choice. So you can do it. There's another question that came in about visa processing and does it stop at the NBC, the National Visa Center? There is a processing line that happens at NBC. Once your fee bill gets paid, then you do go into processing, and that is part of the wait time for the EB3 process. So that does happen. The TOEFL and IELTS is not sponsored. Your visa screen and your medical exam is reimbursed once you start work and get to the US. So that is done. Okay, I think we've answered all the questions. Candy, do you see anything that I missed?
No, I just want to know if you guys have questions for me. As what I have indicated, I have been in the US for 31 years, and most recently is as the vice president for the 3 hospitals here in Southwest Kansas. Let me know if you have specific questions.
More English exam questions. We don't have an IELTS scholarship, and the English exam should be general. We do not sponsor NCLEX. Most of our applicants come to us after they have taken the NCLEX. All right. Well, maybe Candy, I'm gonna plug all of our things here, and then maybe some final thoughts for you for what you would want the nurses to be left with. First, let me remind everybody to like us on Facebook so that you can get all of our updates. You should probably also like CommonSpirit on Facebook too, so you can learn more about any updates they post on social media. But we do webinars like this every week, and also immigration updates and retrogression updates. So please make sure to like us on Facebook and all of our other social media channels. As always, we have an amazing Refer a Nurse program. So if you have family, friends, or colleagues that you would like to come on this journey with you, it's amazing to come on this journey with a partner. And so Refer a Nurse, please use this link to become an ambassador. So maybe, Candy, final thoughts from you. What would you like to leave or maybe I'm just going to answer this because this is really important. This is direct hire. It is direct hire. You, if you were chosen, would be an employee of CommonSpirit, whichever hospital is the one that hired you. That's really important about this. This is not staffing. This is direct hire.
Yes.
Okay, final thoughts from you. What would you like to leave this very active and excited group of viewers with?
First of all, as an ethnic minority leader, I am very energized and passionate about helping our international nurses to fully transition successfully here in the United States. I have been in leadership for about 30 years, and I have seen so many international nurses. Of course, there are times when you struggle, but at the end of the day, it is really important to have a nurse leader, like in my position, that understands what you go through. And it is my calling to help you be successful. And my goal is for you to choose Southwest Kansas, number one, because that's where I work. And number two, I really believe in our mission statement, truly making every interaction fruitful and spiritual, because it is the work that we do. And I would like to see some of you apply for the position and hopefully interview you sometime next week. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Thank you so much, Candy. And Kansas, these hospitals in Kansas, they're all CommonSpirit hospitals, but these are the only ones that have Candy. So if you want a job or you can work with her, this is the right opportunity. Candy, thank you for all of your time today. We know that you are busy and we appreciate your commitment to this and to the international nurses. Thanks to everyone who joined us. This was exceptional. This was really great participation. If you have questions, especially about your specific journey, please reach out to a recruiter. We want to make sure that we're able to answer all your specific questions. And to everybody, I hope you have a good evening or